The Man Whore Podcast is sponsored by HotMovies.com. Try out some ethical paid-for porn for free with none of those hidden fees or secret recurring subscriptions when you sign up at HotMovies.com/bonus and use the promo code MANWHORE. Now let's get to the show.
Welcome to the Man Whore Podcast.
Shout out to all the secret girlfriends out there trying to hide who they are. Come out of the shadows, girl. You deserve it. This is Billy Procida, and you are listening to the Man Whore Podcast. All right. Welcome to my show where I talk to women I've hooked up with about sex, dating, and why we didn't work out. However, this week's special guest is not one of my former flames. I've got on stand-up comedian and fellow podcaster Tracey Carnazzo. And I'm really excited to share our conversation with you in a bit. But first, show dates, people. Show dates. Okay. It is coming up. I am so stoked. Man Whore Con, presented by Motor Bunny, is next weekend. And we've got a couple of amazing shows that you should come out to, even if you can't make the whole weekend. But if you live in the greater New York area, you want to come see a show, these are the shows to see. August 3rd at Lucky Jack's, we're doing a stand-up comedy show. I will be headlining the event, of course. Got a hilarious lineup of comedians you've heard here on this very podcast. Tickets are $10 at the door. August 4th at the Actors Theater Workshop, we are doing a live Man Whore Podcast recording. Yep, me on that stage with four exes. Four exes, a coalition of exes led by the wonderful and hilarious Andrea Allen. Oh yeah, it's gonna be a fun one. Tickets are $20 at the door, but you know what? You can get these tickets cheaper if you buy them online in advance. Go to manwhorepod.com. You will see the links to either or both shows. Grab your tickets. Come on out to that. It's going to be a fun night. I'll be hanging around both of the shows a little bit if you want to say hello. Don't be shy. Oh, I'm so excited for those shows. I am so excited. Then one other little announcement. We've got 2 spots now, just 2 spots left in the Fan Whore Fantasy Football League. It's a $30 buy-in, 0.5 PPR. Shoot me an email at manwhorepod@gmail.com if you want to lock up one of those last 2 spots. We typically draft the week before week 1 of the NFL season. Okay, I'm feeling a little off my game. I'm going to be honest with you. Just feeling a little off, a little tense, a little bit upset. Had someone ghost on me this afternoon. I'm recording this on Tuesday. Somebody was supposed to come over and fool around. There's a woman who already ghosted me once before from Reddit. She ghosted me on my birthday. And I gotta say, when you have some like really fun birthday sex scene planned and someone does, it's one thing when they cancel. Like you're disappointed, but hey, everyone has agency. You got to take care of yourself. You got to advocate for yourself, but ghosting on my birthday, not fucking cool. She pops back into my life out of nowhere, just starts like saying, "Oh, hey." And what happens? Oh, she fucking ghosts me. Ghost me once, shame on you. Ghost me twice. I'm just really trying to get a rim job over here. So I'm kind of frustrated. I just find it disrespectful. Like cancel if you got to cancel. And I don't care if it's, fucking my face or getting coffee or a business meeting. You cancel. You don't just like disappear. Anyways, life is okay. I had a good weekend. We had another Hacienda party. It was my first Hacienda sex party since December. So I was really excited to go and just I didn't stay for terribly long. I was there with a couple of listeners. Shout out to you. You know who you are. I went with a couple of wonderful, super sexy listeners, and they eventually kind of weren't feeling it, and I decided to leave with them, and we went to my place. We got some grilled cheese from the bodega and hung out in my room and debriefed their first Hacienda experience. I had fun though, Baby participated in his first triple penetration. I want to take a moment to read an iTunes review. I haven't done this in just fucking ages or for forever. I feel like I almost never talk about iTunes reviews. But I want to read this one. The title is Wasn't Looking for It, but Glad I Found It. She writes, I'll admit, this isn't something I would have discovered on my own, but Billy Procida was recently a guest on my show, the Performers and Creators Lab podcast. And now that I've been introduced to it, I keep this podcast in my rotation of shows that I listen to when I'm driving in the car. If you are a sex-positive person who likes a little humor with their sex talk, then you will love the Man Whore podcast. I love Billy's frank approach to sex and listening to him navigate the awkward, but also sometimes hot scenarios that he stumbles into in the polyamorous and sex-positive world. And his interviews are real quality work. Also, he was just really great and professional and sweet to work with. He is the real deal. I hope to see him doing comedy at Carnegie Hall one day. Well, you know what they say. You know how you get to Carnegie Hall. You got to fuck the owner. That's how you get there, right? No? Well, shit. Now I feel used. Thank you, Holly, for that wonderful review. I do appreciate the ratings and reviews on iTunes. They actually do help. iTunes rankings are based off of new subscribers, but also off of ratings, new ratings and reviews. So if you got a moment, especially if you can't afford to throw any dollars my way, literally one of the least things you can do is leave a positive rating and review on iTunes for the Man Whore podcast. Got an email I want to read before we move on to today's guest, Tracey Carnazzo. Subject line, thanks for the courage. Ariel writes, hey, Billy, yesterday I had the courage to ask 2 women with whom I and my fiance have had plans to or have had threesomes with. And I asked them if they'd be interested in a foursome. In the end, one said she wasn't interested at the moment, but I am so proud I had the courage to ask about making that fantasy a reality, and I honestly would not have had the courage to do so without listening to the podcast. Gonna keep listening and keep building up that courage to ask for what I want. Stay slutty, Ariel. And I love this email because that's what it's all about, baby. So many folks who either DM me on Instagram, they send me emails, they send me messages, tweet at me. There's always this, so often it's just like, oh man, I wish I could do the things you do. You can. All you have to do is ask for it. Be the sex party you want to see in the world. I think that's what Gandhi meant by that quote. I think they edited it for, TV or whatever. But yeah, I got this also this morning. Somebody on Instagram who she said, oh, I wish we had that stuff where I am. And I'm like, I looked up where she was. She's a major metropolitan area. They certainly have sex parties down there. But it wasn't that she wished that they were available, because they are. She wished she had the courage to go out and get it, that she had the gall to go forth and get what she wants. This doesn't just have to be in big fantasy-like scenarios. This doesn't have to be, the gangbang that you're really afraid to organize. This can be asking your boyfriend to go down on you. This can be giving your partner instructions on how you like your balls licked. Just ask for what the fuck you want. What are you so scared of? What are they going to do? Say no? Okay, then they said no. Then you're exactly where you were beforehand. Ask for what you want in this world. And if your fantasy requires a little bit more coordination, other people, maybe a script, if you're sometimes a fantasy requires a stage manager. And I'm serious about that. I was at a hacienda once where I overheard a friend of mine organizing a scene that was going to require like a lot of other people. And she had somebody else who was like in charge of executing it all on her behalf. I was like, oh, cool. She's got like a stage manager for her like anonymous, blind fingering thing. Ask for what you want, people. It's anything I can do, you can do, and probably look better doing. Anything you can do, I can do better. If you want to send me an email with your comments, your questions, your titty pictures, whatever, you can send that on over to manwhorepod@gmail.com. I am so excited for ManwhoreCon, and but I'm also excited to thank my sponsor of this week's podcast, hotmovies.com. I do not have a Did You Know segment for you this week, but what I do have is an opinion on their website. And I have had this opinion long before they ever cut me a check. I think the pay per minute porn model is the future in porn. I think you're going to keep having personal fan clubs for specific fans. I think you're going to continue to have studio memberships when you're really into, say, like kink.com, and kind of all you need is kink.com. But when you just need like a catch-all of porn, I think pay per minute is an ethical and affordable way to hashtag pay for your porn. And that's what hotmovies.com does. You go on there, you buy a bunch of minutes, and like minutes are affordable. You can get 300 minutes for $30. And they have this massive database of porn. Like, they got everything. And they got it broken down by porn star. You got a favorite director, got a favorite category. They even have it by studio. They have like a list of like top 10 up and coming studios. Teen X, British Bukkake Productions, Auntie Trisha. Ooh, I like how that sounds. Let's go to Auntie Trisha. I click it and realize, oh, it's just like a lot of mature British lesbian movies. All right, not maybe for me, but I'm happy that it's there. So I'm a big fan of hotmovies.com. Last night I used up a lot of my minutes watching Deep Throat for the first time. Never watched Deep Throat, but it's on there. Classic. If it's good enough for Jackie Onassis, it's good enough for me. And hotmovies.com is offering my listeners specifically a really wonderful deal. You can get 20 free minutes on top of any package you sign up for when you go to hotmovies.com/bonus and use promo code MANWHORE. That also includes their free trial. Yep, they have a free trial available for 20 minutes. Use my promo code MANWHORE, you get 40 minutes. Hashtag pay for your porn, or hashtag pay for some of your porn at hotmovies.com/bonus with promo code MANWHORE. And now for this week's guest, Tracey Carnazzo. Oh yeah. Tracey's a friend of mine in the comedy world. She also does her own podcast that's literally all about teen mom. Like, unironically, in a positive fashion, all about teen mom. Which I know for some of you, you might be shocked to learn that teen mom is still happening. It's called Teen Mom Trash Talk. I had a fun talk with Tracey. We talked about, cheating, marriage, kids. We talked about, is porn cheating? Short answer, of course not. We talked about kids, and at one point, I started advocating for giving up your older child for adoption, because technically, I think you can. I don't think there's an age limit at which you can just drop a kid off. Just typically, you do it when it's like an infant, so they're not like heavily traumatized. So I don't know if I still stand by that stance, but that's something that came out of my mouth that made me feel weird. Let's get to my conversation with Tracey Carnazzo.
He can get the fuck out if he doesn't like it.
It's like he has to admit at minimum that he's dating me.
Yeah, that's one of the new rules.
It's like the lowest standard for like
we put that in effect today.
Yeah, it's like, will you please admit to others that we're dating?
He's doing that now.
Yeah, that's cool. That's nice. Good.
Yeah, I feel like we're almost married.
That's escalation in the relationship.
We're together now.
So we've been living together how long?
Yeah, 20 years, and now he basically proposed, and he didn't really propose.
Wait, what?
No, but he will admit that we're together. So I kind of I take it as a proposal. I'm like, oh, so he's like obsessed with me. Okay, cool.
How long have y'all been together?
2 years.
2 years, and how long till he would like publicly admit it?
It's a little fuzzy because I think I blocked it out.
Yeah, I would too. Sounds very traumatic.
But I mean, now he does.
What did it feel like when he wouldn't do it? When he wouldn't?
It felt like my whole life.
Yeah?
It felt like every relationship I was ever in.
What would dudes normally like not want to admit that they're with you?
Yeah, I've been in a few situations like that. I was with a guy for like almost 4 years. And he used to cheat on me with his coworkers. So he would tell his coworkers we were super good friends.
Is this the thing where you thought you were in a relationship?
No. We were legitimately in a relationship. Yeah.
What made it a relationship? Like how did...
I mean, we lived together.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
We slept in bed next to each other every night. We kissed on the mouth.
Those are usually the I lick his asshole. Like those are usually telltale markers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Me and his mom were super close. She would call me her daughter. She would say, "I love you."
We were married.
Yeah.
Like we had a document. It's just weird.
We had 4 kids, and
he was very confused. He
was like, "What do you mean?" Actually, Reg Thomas has a joke like that.
Yeah.
About how like he calls out an audience member, and he's like, "Are you guys together?" And the guy's like shuffling around in the seat, and then the girl's like, "We have 3 kids together." Yeah, that's my life in one joke.
Oh, that's funny. Well, I am here right now with Tracey Carnazzo. Is it Carnazzo? Did I say it right? Okay.
Yeah.
Welcome. A very funny stand-up comedian and podcaster.
Thank you.
Yeah. I think one of the reasons I wanted to have you on was just that initial thing of just how you have this boyfriend who was like, when we last were chatting, you were just like, he's weird about men I say. He's like, why you got to tell our business?
Yeah. You tell a quote is, you tell everyone that will listen that we're dating.
Yeah, it's like there's nothing wrong.
And I'm like, yeah, when someone asks me if you have a boyfriend, I say yes.
It's like, what do you say when do you have a girlfriend?
He says, depends. What's your name? Are you single? No, I don't know. I don't know what he says. I don't know what he says because we're never together.
Oh, no.
Everything's fine.
Everything's fine? You're going to be okay?
I feel good.
It's okay. At minute 3, we don't have to get into it.
Right.
At minute 43, tears might start.
Right. Well, I mean, he's not going to listen that long. So
yeah. No
he's
way.
Gonna kind of, oh, okay, all right.
So this is fine. This is fine. All right. I'm sure the rest
40,
is okay.
Yeah, exactly. 43, and then he turns it off.
I can't stand Billy's voice for this long.
Right. And if you're listening, I love you, honey.
Well, how did you two get together? You both comedians?
We're both comedians. We were very good friends for a long time, and then he had gone through a breakup. I had gone through a breakup. The story goes that you're like, oh no, I'm so sad, and he's like, I'll save you.
I have a very convenient penis. I can help aid this situation.
Yeah, and he healed me.
You're healed.
Fantastic.
Me, yes. So wait, so you said in the past relationships you've had dudes just it was just that one guy in the 4-year relationship, or? I
mean, when you date, that guy definitely had a problem, and his entire family and friends, it was the big running joke that hey guys, we know that you're together.
It's a running joke that he was cheating, or
no, that he wouldn't admit that I was his girlfriend, but we were together. We were together for 25 years. And
at what point does that stop being cute and just start being insulting?
Oh, I never thought it was cute.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't think it was cute. His friends, his grown friends that were married with children would be like, "Hey, it is your girlfriend. We know. We're not going to make fun of you."
Yeah, but why would they make fun of him?
Well, I don't know. He was just he had this terrible mentality. And we spoke recently, and he said something about how he always because I think he was 30 when we got together, and he said that he just wasn't mature enough, and he was always kind of looking for something, thinking something better was going to come along.
The upgrade.
Right.
So was he embarrassed to be in a relationship? Or was he embarrassed to be in a relationship with you?
No, just in general. I don't think it was an embarrassment. I think it was more I don't want to tell everyone I'm in a relationship because then my options are kind of cut.
Well, that's kind of the idea of a monogamous relationship,
right?
Is that your options are cut down to one.
That's
the whole point.
It's the craziest thing. I was okay with that, but I think that relationship, when that relationship ended, he ended up leaving me for a coworker, and after that happened, I kind of took kids and marriage off the table.
Really?
Yeah, because it was I can't do this. I can't be that vulnerable. He was the guy that I was with, and I loved him very deeply, and we connected so well. And I feel if that could happen to me with him, I can't even imagine what could happen with me with someone else.
And how old were you when you guys broke up and you decided this?
I was
made 20, this insane decision?
27.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how old are you now?
I'm 34.
All right.
I'm very old.
I don't know. I just had someone else who's older than you, and they were being very weird about saying their age.
A lot of women are, but I mean, I am what I am. You could also Google me.
Yeah.
And find out everything that ever happened to me. So
right.
You can find out my age, my address. Please don't come to my house. You know.
Yeah, I get very weird. So, because sometimes people will want to like send me something, and they'll be like, email in, be like, "Hey, what's your address?" I'd be like, let me Google you first."
We've discussed this before, and you encouraged me to give my address out, and you know what I did? I just did.
Yeah,
I was like, whatever. Billy does it.
I mean, it's mostly fine. I mean, that's also because
also send me cash.
Yeah. It's like depends on like what are you selling?
Yeah.
What are you allegedly sending me?
I don't even care.
I don't know. I'm gonna get a PO box one of these days. But yeah, that's. So now is marriage and kids still off the table?
Off the table.
Still
off the table.
Really? Just because this dude?
Okay, so this is how I feel. I don't want kids. I don't. One of my biggest fears is the fear of vomit. I think I've told you about. Have I not told you about this?
No.
I'm a metaphobic. I'm very, very, very afraid of vomit. And having a child. There are so many aspects of vomit when you think about it.
Yeah.
Being pregnant, and then having the actual child.
And then there's the whole child vomiting.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, and I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in germs.
Okay.
And who better for germs than children?
Sure. Do you know how many different people have worn those headphones?
I mean, whatever. They didn't throw up in them. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not catching a stomach virus from the headphones. That's fine. Probably just from this part of the mic. Which is we do comedy,
just a little bit of jizz,
right? That's fine.
I mean, this is the man.
I was like,
podcast.
why is this so delicious? And then I realized that's what it was. I'm gonna take this little styrofoam thing home with me if you don't mind.
Did you previously want kids?
When I was with my ex-boyfriend, I did. I wanted to get married, and I wanted a house, and I wanted children, and I wanted a life with him. And then because I felt like very safe with him. And I felt like if there was something that I was scared of, like he would handle it. You know, if the kids were sick or whatever, maybe like I didn't feel as unsafe because I think that phobias are about feeling unsafe. And now I feel like, what if I would have had kids with him and he would have left me after that? And then now my biggest fear is having children. And now my other biggest fear is being a single mom.
Like the teen moms you spend time talking about all the time.
When I do the podcast on Teen Mom, and it is the number one fear of mine, and I think that's why I'm like so fascinated by it.
What do you think that fear is about?
I think the fear is about like I don't 100% want a kid, so if I had a kid, it would be because you wanted the kid.
Okay.
And then you're gonna leave me with the kid? No.
Now you're left with this thing you don't want.
I didn't want it in the first place. You wanted it.
You know what's weird is like you can. At any time, give your kid up for adoption. Like the option to give a kid up for adoption is not just when it's an infant,
right?
But as soon as it can like start talking and shit, you just feel guilty. Like it's hard to give a kid up for adoption who's 13,
right?
Because like it'll know your name and in 5 years like can just Google you and come back, and,
right?
Like,
especially nowadays. What kind of piece of shit would I look like?
Yeah.
Like, I think that I'd be much better off, like, having, like, 5 abortions in a row than having a child when it's 2, deciding I don't want it anymore. I mean, could you imagine the rumors?
Yeah.
It's like Tracey, like, legit did not like her kid.
Yeah.
Like, she told me she wasn't going to like her kid before she had her kid. And everyone said that she would change her mind because that's what people say.
Yeah.
They're like, well, no, once you see it. I'm like,
But people talk about like it's an 18-year commitment. It's like not really.
No, it's for the rest of your life. I mean, my brother's 36. He lives with my mom.
I was going to say it's not at all a commitment because you can always give it up technically, legally.
I mean, if I had a kid, it would not be in my custody. I will. Okay, but here's the thing. I'll birth a child.
Really?
I would love to birth a child. I actually follow like these really crazy natural birth things on Instagram.
Be a surrogate.
I can't be a
money.
surrogate.
Why?
Because you have to have had natural childbirth, a healthy birth previous to being a surrogate.
Really?
Yes. That is a thing because no one wants to have like a wild card, surrogate.
Okay.
Because it's like, can you have a healthy pregnancy? It's like, oh, I don't know.
Probably.
I mean, I've been pregnant before.
but it's just like there's like no stigma. Like it's like if you give a kid up when it's like 6 weeks old,
right? That's cool. That's like a brave thing to do.
Yeah, they're like, you know what, you were responsible.
Right.
You recognized you can't handle this, and you
Right.
gave it up. But if the kid's like 13, it's like
You're a dick.
You can bring it to the
Of course
fire
you can.
station.
I would.
And the cop's going to be like, you're several years late.
But here's the thing. You think I'd last 13 years? No shot. I love a baby. I love a little baby wrapped up like a burrito in the little hospital blanket. Love it, love it, love it. Once it starts like holding its head up, not interested.
Yeah, it's too strong for you.
Right. Like I've been babysitting 2 dogs this weekend and like they bark and I love dogs. I don't love them at night though. I like to sleep. You know, I had to wake up at like 7:30 this morning because of the dog. No thanks. Like you can't even keep a kid in a cage. Apparently that's like illegal.
Apparently.
Well, you could keep it in a cage. You just can't have a top. It's called a crib. But you can't go out of the house with it.
Yeah.
With it still in, no.
So what are your like long-term relationship goals now?
Okay, so as far as marriage goes, because I don't want to have a child, I don't think it's very important to get married. Because I think that legally a marriage is important when you have a kid.
It can be important for other reasons, but that, I mean, you can game those out as soon as someone's going to get like a sick job with good benefits.
Right, but
or
also
whatever.
like, you know, I have great insurance.
Yeah, and also like you own your home. You don't want him to have
Right.
All of a sudden get entitled to half of it.
No, it's true though. It's true though. I mean, you know, then you have to have like a prenup, and it's like, ugh.
Yeah.
Let's have a prenup on this one-bedroom apartment in Queens. This is embarrassing.
Two comedians and with a prenup over
Right.
just like some spare shit around
Right?
the
It's like
house.
I got 4 pairs of sneaker. What do you got? I got a portable dishwasher.
We're splitting the comic book.
Right. Yeah, like I don't know what it's just an awkward situation, and I think that if there are no kids involved, the only thing that happens with marriage is that you kind of make it harder to break up.
Yeah.
You make it now the state's involved in our breakup, and we
Yeah.
have to pay them to break up.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I've never thought about it like that. Like divorce is paying the government.
Yeah, to be like
say it's okay for you
Right.
to stop being man.
We don't
and
have to
wife.
have sex anymore, right? Let me just pay this. I just paid like $1,500, so I don't have to fuck you anymore.
Yeah, it'd be
Is
strange
that
if
cool?
like it'd be strange if you had to keep doing it until you paid up.
Oh my
like Uncle
God.
Sam just shows up once a week, be like, "You two fucking? You better be fucking, or it's $400."
Yeah. Oh my God, I'd have to pay so much out. No, but yeah, so I don't think that it's like very important. But
Yeah.
if I was with someone for a very long time, like even if I was with my boyfriend now and he was like, marriage is so important to me, I really, really want to get married because of faith or God or whoever the fuck, you know, I'd be like, yeah, whatever. I don't care.
Yeah, it's a document.
Yeah, it's not important or non-important to me. I would like an engagement ring. I'd like to be engaged, but I don't need to have the wedding.
That's if someone said they want to get married, or you in general just want to.
Yeah, I'd like an engagement
You'd like
ring
to one
regardless.
day be engaged.
Or just have a nice,
So you just want to go through all the good parts.
right? I want a nice solitaire ring.
You want a good engagement.
Right.
You want people to congratulate you all the time.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, why people
When's
think
the
that
wedding?
it's like
Never.
never. I don't. We haven't decided.
We haven't decided.
We haven't picked a venue. Ugh, we're dragging our feet.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to get married also because I don't want people to be like, so when are you gonna get pregnant? And it's like, well, I was pregnant, so
Well, also like fiance sounds more like official.
yeah.
Than like boyfriend.
Right, but you could just say it. I mean, who's gonna correct you?
So is that for your relationship your most successful relationship or longest relationship?
I mean, anyone who's single has never had a successful relationship, right?
Not necessarily, because we can't judge success just based off of time together or
Okay.
if it's still intact, because then every relationship
That's
isn't-
not. Yeah.
everything ends because someone's gonna either break up or someone dies.
Well, I think that if my ex-boyfriend died, first of all, amazing if he died.
So if anyone's out there,
That would have really solved a lot of problems, a lot of stress in my life. But no, I think that if someone dies, like then you could say, like if I was widowed or my boyfriend died, like then I could be like, well, we were gonna get married, but you know, he died. But I think that if you break up for some reason, it wasn't successful.
but I think not necessarily. I've known couples who they broke up just for various reasons, but it was more with the thought process that like a relationship runs its course,
Okay.
as opposed to like something happened,
Like your
and it's-
favorite ex-girlfriend that you're saying, something like that. Like you have a favorite ex-girlfriend.
Me?
Yeah.
No. I mean, right now, neither of them are my favorite because
Okay.
both of them have tried to like take down my career,
Right.
At some point this year.
They're
so
really going for it, huh?
they really went for
See,
it.
my ex-boyfriend just cheated on me with everyone he worked with.
Mine just tried to get me like, I don't know, taken off iTunes.
Oh boy. I don't know which one I would have rather have.
I guess my favorite ex-girlfriend is the one who hasn't done shit and is married. So
Right, because
Good-
she's just
good
like
for her.
busy.
Except she won't do the show. So
Oh well, fuck her.
and currently that makes her the best
Right.
ex-girlfriend.
Yeah. No, I understand that. No, my ex-boyfriend just cheated on me like with all the coworkers. And so I don't know if that was successful. He also
That doesn't sound like a successful relationship.
I
I'm
had
just
a
saying
lot
that,
of
like,
fun with him.
I'm just trying to introduce the idea that like a breakup doesn't mean a relationship was unsuccessful.
Okay, I understand that. I don't know if I've ever had a successful relationship then.
I would say my first relationship with that woman back in my freshman year of college,
Okay.
I would say that was a successful relationship because we broke up because we decided we didn't want to do long distance like our sophomore year.
Okay, I was also going to say when you said people break up for various reasons. If I got a job offer in China and you weren't going to come with me, it's like, I mean, what do you want me to do?
It's not an unsuccessful relationship.
Right.
So and there are different reasons why things can run its course.
Right.
And sometimes things just like end poorly, and sometimes I think
Right.
They can end. And so, like I know two people who remain very close friends. They had a conscious uncoupling party.
Ooh, that's cute.
So
like a little divorce party kind of thing.
Pretty
Yeah.
much. That is really big party where they celebrate. They basically held a memorial for their relationship.
Right.
And they're poly, so like they had other partners there.
Right.
But
that's
they
sweet.
they held like this whole little shindig.
But yeah, that's like that's something for an more open mind.
Yeah.
I guess. No, I don't know. I don't think that it was successful. I do think it was successful in that, like, I thought that I had found my partner because we were so close.
Yeah.
And it was probably the first relationship that I had, it was like my first adult relationship.
Sure.
You know, where, I guess like I cared. It was like my first love, like the adult love where like you see like, you know, I will take care of you when you're sick. And I, you know, even though
I'd rather, but just
I'd
don't,
rather
just
not.
don't vomit.
Don't vomit. I'm
Don't
out.
vomit, but I'm in.
Yeah.
Wipe your ass, but don't vomit on me.
Right. Exactly. So things like that. So we were best friends. And, you know, he still reaches out a lot, which is, you know, I've blocked him on various platforms, but he will find different ways. Like if I block him from text, he will text me to my email.
But that's so not cool.
Right. And then like, well, you know, he has a kid and a wife, so whatever. And then, you know, I've blocked him from Facebook, so he messaged me on my fan page.
It's just like, what hint does one need? This comes from...
Right. But what I do is I just bring up his wife and kid every time. Like he'll be like, I got to see you at a show. And I'm like, cool. Can't wait to meet your wife and kid. And he's like, oh, my daughter's too. I'm like, perfect.
Yeah.
She won't understand it.
She won't
Perfect.
understand any of these dick jokes.
This is great.
What did he cheat on you like multiple times? Or?
He cheated on me 2 times that I know of because I spoke to the girls. One was his direct coworker. It was someone that was underneath him. It was one of his sales planners.
Okay.
And the other was a woman from his affiliate office, which was in Chicago. And when he would go visit Chicago for business trips, he would sleep with her. And I moved to the Hamptons for a little while to work. And when I was in the Hamptons, she was staying there in the house that we shared.
Wait, what?
Yeah. And so what happened was,
had no
this
idea.
is how I'm going to tell you how I knew.
Okay.
This one girl, this was not the ultimate.
Was this the first girl he cheated on you with? Or the second?
I'm not sure. I don't know the timeline, but it happened like very quickly.
But it's like you hadn't previously known that he had cheated on you.
No.
Okay.
Like we never like found out
This
and then
is-
like try to work
Yeah,
past
this
it.
is
No.
this is your first thing. Okay,
Right.
okay,
This is
okay.
me finding out that he's cheating on me in general.
Okay.
So we got a new couch. We went to IKEA. It was terrible. It was an awful couch, but this is what he wanted. The living room was like, 1 foot by 1 foot. So we got this IKEA couch. We put it together, and it was like our little joke that like this is the coolest thing in the world, but it was the worst thing in the world.
Right. And now you have a memory of this couch together.
Right.
My ex built this bed.
Oh God, I would burn it.
But it's
very sturdy.
I really like this bed.
Yeah, you could chain people to it. It's nice. Yeah.
But they brought a drill and a
Right.
drill bit kit.
Right.
Because they're like super dykey like that.
Right.
And had like I said, drill bits plural.
Yeah.
And like,
that's amazing. I would love to date
Yeah.
someone that has a drill.
yeah.
Like man, woman, or whatever. I don't even care.
Yeah.
Like that's my next relationship. Like I'm breaking up
You're
with my
already
boyfriend.
planning.
I've broken up with my boyfriend in my head just because I realized that I could be with someone that could fix things. Like that is I'm Italian. That's so important
Yeah.
to me.
Well, but isn't that a hard thing? I want to jump ahead real quick. Did you end up keeping the couch?
So no, I didn't keep the couch at all. It was
Okay.
his apartment, so I had moved into his place. So what happened was I saw on Facebook that this girl wrote on his wall. Now this is like a long time ago, so Facebook isn't as much as like we're doing now. So people would like write on people's walls. Like we don't really do that.
It was
anymore.
also like reverse chronological. So like
Yes.
you would see recent things recent.
Yes. So this girl writes on his wall something about like, oh, I love your couch. And I'm like, she lives in Chicago.
And why the fuck are you posting
She works
on
for his
walls
company.
about couches?
Right. She works for his company. I'm very confused. Why would she see his couch And who the fuck are you? Like, he has a girlfriend, but he would tell people that I was his friend. So they were not censoring themselves.
But for a moment, like, whether or not you have a girlfriend, people can compliment you on your furniture.
Okay, they can. So I asked him, and he said, I sent her a picture of the couch. We're friends. And I sent her a picture of the couch, and she loved it. Oh, I mean, that's an explanation, right? After we break up, because I find out that he is sleeping with his sales planner, I contact this girl from Chicago, and she's super nice. She was a little bit older, and she was like really like wasn't looking to like fuck anyone's life up. And I told her like the whole story, like, hey, we've been living together. We've been together for years and blah, 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 blah. And she's like, I was staying at his house. Like, I knew about the couch because I sat on it. Like, I was at his house. Well, I don't know where you were, but I was at the house. I was like, oh, I was working.
Oof.
Yeah. So and she was like, I am so sorry if I ever caused you pain. She's like, I did not know. He lied to me. And I was like, oh my God, I'm sorry that he lied to you too. And that was kind of like it. You know, it's not her fault.
Wait, so that was after you found out about the other one?
Yes, after I found out about the other one.
How'd you find out about that one?
I found out about it because she was, again, writing on his wall.
That wall will fuck you. That's why Zuckerberg got rid of the wall, because he's like, yo, this wall is fucking up these dudes who are trying to just get down.
She wrote, like, he used to call his mom's cat like a certain nickname, and she wrote that on his wall for his birthday. And I'm like, why would she know that? That's like a very weird thing to know. And he's like, oh, I don't know. And then he broke up with me the day before Valentine's Day at his friend's child's christening. At the christening, he broke up with me and then was like, I don't want to sit with you. You could go. These were his friends. He lived upstate. I don't know. And he broke up with me and he told me that it just wasn't working out. And it was February 13th. And then February 14th, he took her out because he wanted to be able to take his girlfriend out properly. And it wasn't
his other girl. Yeah.
And I contacted her and I was like, hey, I hope you got tested. Because everyone's got HPV, and I'm one of them.
And what did she say?
She eventually broke up with him because she found out that he was lying to her. Because he told her, too, that we were just friends. He would call me, like when I was away, he would call me every night. And he would call me every night from the house. And then all of a sudden, he started calling me from like outside. And I'm like, what are you doing?
Are you going to the payphone?
Yeah, like what's happening?
Goodfellas?
And he's like, oh, I'm smoking a cigarette in the parking lot of my house. And I'm like, you smoke in the house, though? Yeah, you know, I just wanted to smoke in the. And I'm like, what the? And so I knew something fishy was going on. And then it turns out he was at her house and he was calling me from outside and he was telling her that his friend was going through a really bad breakup and he had to call every night to
well,
make
you
sure
are his friend, so
and I was going through a breakup.
To be going through
I
a breakup.
didn't know I was going through a breakup, so he would call me to console me. I'm using air quotes and you can't see it. This is a podcast.
That's
everything's fine.
Harsh story.
Yeah. So that's why I don't want to have kids.
Okay.
Or get married.
Why is that the first time you've been cheated on?
No, absolutely not. I was cheating on my whole life, but that was like the first one that was like, but I'm not even cheating on you.
Wait, so you've cheated?
Yeah, of course.
What do you mean, of course? I haven't.
No? Oh.
I mean, my most recent ex claims I did because I fingered a porn star before.
Yeah, but was there an audience of people there?
Yes.
Oh, that doesn't count.
There's literally like I was performing.
No.
And also it's like, hey, I called you right afterward because basically we're poly.
Okay.
So the rule was
you got to tell her before.
Yeah, not clear, not ask permission, not
okay,
even,
but even if you
not even get a response, just like send a text of like if you like are
got to finger her now, bite.
Yeah, it's like if you hook up with someone at a bar and you're gonna go home together, be like, hey, I hooked up with this girl at the bar, we're going back to her place. That's it.
Right. Like give her the information.
Yeah, so like I was sleeping at a porn performer's place that night.
Right.
Because it was my last night in Vegas and I didn't have a place to stay, and this like porn person like, hey, you want to crash? I was
cool.
And I knew we were flirting, so like I knew her and I were probably gonna like fuck.
Right.
That I knew, and I had already warned my ex about. But I was recording with this woman, Jay Taylor.
Okay.
And there was like her boyfriend, the director, was there. 2 other porn stars were there. Like
it was like a friendly finger.
Yeah, like, and we had an audience, and she was trying to show me the difference between A spot and G spot.
Yeah, I think that's okay. First of all, that was like you were basically a doctor. That was very medical.
Yeah.
So I talk about this thing a lot. It's called like the friendly hand job. And
okay.
it's not a sexual thing. It's more like a scientific thing. It's more like a clinical thing, right? So there's this comedian, Anthony DiDomenico. I don't know if you know him.
No,
He's
I
from
don't.
Long Island.
Okay.
Really good friend of mine. And one night, I think I had flashed some of the comics in the parking lot of Governor's.
You think?
Yeah, I mean, like, I flashed him real quick.
Okay.
It was like a joke. We were just being silly, right? No one.
Okay.
It was dark. No one saw, Also, no one saw anything because you haven't seen my chest. There's not much there, So it was like real quick. And Anthony was like, "What the hell? You flash them." Like, me and him, like I said, are just friends. And I was like, "Well, I'd flash you." Like, it was a bunch of people. It wasn't like a private showing of my breasts. It was like a ha ha.
He's like, if you want to see my breast, you need to bring 4 to 6 friends who buy a 2-drink minimum.
Thank you. So this was the whole thing. So I said to him, I was like, I would give you a hand job, but it would have to be in front of friends. Like, it wouldn't be a sexual thing. You fingering this girl.
It's adorable that you don't think that's going to be a sexual thing for him.
Right, for him maybe, but not for me, because it's like, I'm just like touching flesh and all our friends are here and this is just silly.
Okay.
It's just a matter of fact.
So what you're saying is we can get hand jobs from you if we bring friends to watch.
Just bring all the friends. But it also has to be like
I think
super...
I've got a few friends outside this door.
Great, I'm glad Billy has roommates. I'm going to kill myself. No, but you see, it's like taking the sexuality out of it. And
it doesn't, though.
He says the same thing. A lot of people say the same thing.
I promise you.
And his joke is always like, yeah, she offered me a fucking hand job in front of all my friends. Thanks a lot. And it's like,
Did you do it?
No, but I thought it was nice of me.
I mean, it's nice of you. I wouldn't turn down a hand job just because I had to do it.
But you're also like a guy that's like used to getting hand jobs in front of like 7 to 10 of your friends. It's a different story, right? This is just a regular person.
Sure.
Yeah.
But the friendly hand job, like, it's still sexual. However you want to rationalize it,
right?
It's still sexual. With Jay Taylor, it was like, even though technically,
right,
I'm supposed to text before I fingered the person.
Right.
I was doing. It was in the middle of the podcast. Like,
right.
We're on mic, we are rolling. And I didn't view it as that, but I also, like, right after I left and got in the car to go to this other porn person's place, I was like, I actually called my ex to be like, oh my God, I had such a great recording just now, and this happened. Oh my God. And then, like, at one point she asked me to finger her because she wanted to show me how an A-spot worked.
Yeah, because you didn't consider it cheating. This is why you told her.
Yeah, and in that moment, they did not, they didn't freak out.
Right.
They didn't object. They didn't say, hey, you... I mean, it's cool,
it
but
was
by the way, you should
afterthought.
have. And then when we got into a fight like a week later,
Right. Then it was brought up.
when we had the breakup fight, that's when they brought it up. And it's like, oh, like you're retroactively,
Right.
You're doing that thing where you're grabbing old shit,
Right, and you're like,
and just like retooling it so that you can yell at me about it.
understood.
And I was like, so I still maintain I haven't cheated.
I agree with you. So a friend of mine, he had a hemorrhoid.
Okay, oh, I can't wait to hear how this goes.
And he was like, I don't know what's on my asshole, but I'm very scared.
Can you give me a friendly prostate exam?
Can you check it out? And I said, do you have saran wrap? And he said, yes. And I said, give me some saran wrap. And he took his pants down and I checked his butthole. I was like, you have a hemorrhoid. I could see it with my eyes even. It's just like a little pee on your butthole. Did I cheat on my boyfriend?
Definitely not, but also you have a very special relationship with your friends.
Right, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
No, I don't, because I would never.
well,
check.
I mean, she said, I want to show you the inside of my body
Wait,
here.
is
this spot.
this a girl or a guy?
It was a guy.
Yeah, I would never.
Would you get mad at me if you were my boyfriend?
No, I would just be like that. You have very strange friends,
Right, but I'd be like, so what do you think? I touched his asshole. Like, I was like, ooh, you got a hemorrhoid. What
But
a
see,
fuck later.
that's not sexual, as opposed to your friendly hand job scenario.
Right, but what I'm saying is like the fingering part. She was like, I'm going to show you the inside of my vagina. This part is here and this part is here.
Yeah,
In front of all these people, it's
on
like
a podcast,
like
while it's
literally a
recorded.
diorama. It's not like, oh my God.
I have a video of it. Like,
Right.
Yeah, it's very unflattering though. Back of the head, not my best angle.
Right. You gotta get that spray from TV. You'll be fine.
I handed it to the male talent, as they call it, right?
Yeah.
Handed to Billy King,
Sure.
which was weird because, like, when I showed up to talk to Jay, she warned me, "Hey, I might be still shooting when you get here,
Right.
So I hope that's okay." I'm like, "Pfft, yeah, I'm sure I'll figure out a way to be cool with
Right.
watching you shoot porn." So I got to watch this dude.
Disgusting.
Yeah. I got to watch this dude fuck her, and it was great. But he has my name,
Right.
abs. I had I had like a beard going
Right.
on. He had a bigger, more impressive beard. He like very white looking, like same shade as me.
Right.
Cock was like, I feel like similar sizes.
Okay.
So basically, I felt like I was getting identity cuckolded.
Right.
Like I was watching a better version of me fuck her, and that was weird.
You could be him.
With
One
more
day.
discipline.
One day you can be him.
Yeah. So I handed the phone to him. I was like, "Hey man, can you like record me fingering Jay?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure." But he does it all in the worst angle, whatever. And then I realized, I should have handed it to her boyfriend, the director,
Right? Or
because
even
the
a woman,
director
or a
would have
woman,
known, or
a woman would
yeah.
have never done that.
Just someone who has some directorial vision. Don't give it to the talent.
Have you ever had a man take a picture of you, just in general, like a group shot?
Meaning what?
Like me and you were in a bar and we're like, oh, take a picture.
Like that.
Yeah, like you never hand a man a camera.
He's no idea what.
Not a straight man.
No idea.
No,
No
don't
idea.
do that. They'll just they'll photograph you from below. You'll have like 10 more chins than you really have.
I only know some things to do only because I have learned from chicks. My sister, the selfie queen, like
Teach
taught
me.
me how to find lighting.
Yeah.
I found my lighting once in Vegas. That was the only place.
Oh,
I
so
found
what you
lighting.
do is when you put the selfie camera on and then you spin in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, this is brilliant.
Yeah.
And then I learned, like you don't do it with the light behind
Right.
you.
Yeah. I just spin and just see what I look better in.
Yeah.
Just take a little twirl.
I
Be a
had no-
ballerina.
I had no idea that was an option.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is why straight men shouldn't be taking my photo, especially like in a bar. It's horrible. But yeah, no, I would have, I feel bad because like that moment was special for you. And like you have a bad photo of it now.
I have a bad, yeah. But it's okay. I will always remember it in my
Right. Like you've
mind.
taken mental pictures.
I've jerked off to the mental
Right.
pictures.
That's so nice.
I have porn. There's porn of her that exists.
Right.
So I can like copy and paste her naked body back into my head,
that's
just in
good.
case. Yeah, it's good.
All right. But I would like to fight for you and just say that was not a cheat.
I agree.
Yeah.
But you've cheated.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why have you cheated?
When I was younger, because I didn't think that it was wrong.
You didn't think it was wrong to cheat.
No. Because I got
You
cheated on all the time. My
you-
ex-boyfriend used to cheat on me all the time. So
And
it
you
was
didn't
like,
think it was bad that he would cheat.
yeah, I would get like really mad and he'd be like, shut up.
That's it.
Yeah. And
You
I'd be
grew
like,
up on Long Island or Jersey.
I grew up in Queens.
Queens?
Yeah.
That type of guy.
Yeah. Yeah. He was that type of guy. He's a garbage man now.
That sounds
Yeah.
about right.
Yeah.
Garbage man, garbage
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
Wait, so I shouldn't say that. I have a listener who is a garbage person.
No,
and
he's
good people.
I'm pretty big into the DSNY. This is
DSNY?
Department of Sanitation, New York.
Oh,
That's
okay.
like my thing. Like a lot of girls are like into firemen and cops. Like I'm into garbage men.
Why?
A lot of money, great shifts. I don't know. They're they take out the garbage. They're fairly manly. They retire in 25 years. They're just I like them as a people. They're not like power hungry like maybe a cop would be.
Okay.
They're not obsessed with their job maybe like a fireman would be.
I mean, I hope a fireman is obsessed with his job. He
Right.
better be.
Right. No, but that's a good thing, but it's also like a bad thing in a relationship.
Sure.
So it's like, a garbage man. He's just like, he's a little out of shape. It's great.
So, but cheating, you're like, you used to be like, oh, that's cool, that's fine.
I didn't think it was
It's inherent
cool.
in the name cheat.
Right. I didn't
That's
think it was
bad.
cool. It was just kind of like how it went.
Okay. Did you have a less serious view on relationships in general?
Absolutely. When you're a teenager.
I don't know how old you are in these stories.
I was a teenager.
How late were you? When was the last time you cheated on someone?
Oh my God.
Obviously not your present boyfriend. You can't admit it right now.
No. And you know what? I wish that I could admit it. Like if I did it, I would admit it. But it's just like there's a point in your life where if you're in a relationship, like if I wanted to cheat on him, I'd be like, hey, I'm going to fuck someone else. So do with that what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Now you wouldn't present it as a thing to ask/negotiate.
No.
You would just be like, I'm going to do this. If you have questions, I'm here.
Right. Like
but
if you
I'm
want to
gonna
break
do
up with me,
this.
that's fine.
Yeah.
But I'm going to yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like what's the situation right now? I'm in the situation where like I'm with one person and I'm not saying that I don't find anyone else attractive, but like, do I want to really sleep with them? Like a relationship, maybe for a woman, I don't know if I'm like speaking for everyone here.
You can speak for Tracey. You
Okay.
can definitely do that.
Okay. Well, for me, a relationship is kind of like you're in it. It's not just sex.
Yeah.
Like this is the person that I'm like sharing my life with. So if I'm going to have sex with someone else, like I think that's like kind of disgusting. You know what I mean?
How so?
Just because of if we had an open relationship, that'd be a different story, but we don't have an open relationship. So I wouldn't want to do that to someone else. If I found someone that I liked better than my boyfriend and wanted to be with, I'd break up with my boyfriend and be with that person.
But you're saying there isn't any dick out there that would be worth hurting your present?
Yeah, no, it's not really, because like I said, it's not really about sex anymore.
Now, would you, if there was someone that you just really, really wanted to bang who was into it, would you auto break up with boyfriend, or would you say, this is a thing I've been presented with, this is what I really want to do, I'm going to go do it?
No, I think I'd break up with him.
So you wouldn't be into saying, I love you, I still want to stay with you, but I really want to go bang Chris Hemsworth?
No, and I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
I couldn't take if he did it to me.
Okay.
And I would not want him to do that to me. That would break my heart in a million pieces. Like, his joke is like, oh, if Rihanna, and I'm like, yeah, sure, you could bang Rihanna. I mean, if Rihanna's going to bang you, then whatever.
I mean,
but she's probably not. So I think I'm pretty, you know what I mean?
probably.
Like, I'm safe. Like, you leave the dishes in the sink all the time. Like, if Rihanna wants to deal with that, like, God bless her. So, that's the kind of thing. But like, no, because if I was like, oh, well, I'm going to bang Billy because I like him and like we get along. He's going to be like, well, I'm going to bang this other girl. And then that's it. I can't deal with that. I cannot deal with that.
And Billy, as I think we all who are listening know, is not worth the heartbreak of him banging that. Right.
But anyone, like any kind of like, if you just want to fuck someone, like a relationship is better than that.
For you, yeah. Because
for me,
there's
yeah.
more...
Listen, I've had, my wild phase in life, and I've realized that like sex is sex, and it's, the idea of it is better to me than the actual thing. Like the flirting and the anticipation of it is like, and then you do it and you're like, oh, all right, well, that's over.
Sex not that fun for you?
It's not that it's not that fun. It's just like I like the emotional connection more than the other part of it, I think.
Wow, what led that transition?
I don't know, I guess like maturing and growing up and, being in monogamous relationships.
I will never grow up. I'm a whorish kid.
Right, okay. But that's a choice that you've made in your relationships too, because you've had open relationships, right?
Yeah, we've been various forms of non-monogamy.
Right,
yeah.
So I mean, that's fine. It's just not for me because I can't deal with it on the other end.
Sure.
So like, you can't be selfish and be like, listen, I'm going to fuck everyone, but don't fucking look at that girl because I'll stab you.
Well, yeah, see, that's an extreme thing. But there are relationships where like one side practices monogamy and the other side does not, but it's been negotiated,
right? I mean, every relationship is exactly what you and your partner decide.
Exactly.
There are no rules, because people say a lot of times, I talk to Dante Nero sometimes, and he says, he's hilarious, but the one thing that I definitely took away from him is the negotiables and non-negotiables, and he talks about it a lot, and that's like the only thing you could really base anything off of. Is like that there are certain things in each relationship that are negotiable and non-negotiable, and you guys have to decide on that.
Yeah.
So, you fingering the porn star on a podcast, if you have a really conservative girlfriend and she's like, you can't touch another woman, you can't look at another woman, you can't, and you do that, then you're cheating, because that's what you guys have decided is cheating.
And I wouldn't have done it. If I was in a monogamous relationship.
Exactly.
And that's why when you were like, oh, I think even if you're monogamous, I'd be like, I'd have to ask
it depends
for
on
forgiveness.
it depends on the rules.
But everyone should make their own rules. And it's like the people who default into monogamy, I'm just like, I feel bad, because even if you end up with monogamy, that's fine, but I think you should choose monogamy, not default into it.
Understood.
Because you don't know that there's other options. Time for the fan whore appreciation moment, brought to you by, you, the listeners. This is the part of the podcast where I like to give a shout out to some of the members of my fan whore community on Patreon. They're making the magic happen. Thank you to Millie Morrison. She's out there making love connections happen down in New South Wales, because Aussies deserve love too. Thank you for your membership, doll. Sarah McClellan. Hey girl, welcome back. One of my favorite Canucks back in the champagne room. And a shout out to Dinah. Oh, I'm sorry either way. Broderick, welcome to New York City. Welcome to my metropolis. It's mine. And I hope we'll meet you and see you at one of the live shows at ManWhoreCon next weekend. And you too can get yourself a Fan Whore membership for as little as $1 per month. Membership gets you access to bonus episodes of the show, secret fan whore communities, and oh so much more. Literally, some people have been asking privately, like on Instagram, they ask me, Billy, if I become a member of the fan whore community, do I get to see your penis? Do I get to see you jerk off? Can I watch you come? Oh yeah, by the way, those requests were all done by women. Well, for literally $1, you can see my penis in my private Patreon posts. Just saying, it's out there. Head on over to patreon.com/manwhorepodcast to become a member today. You go to Patreon, patreon.com/manwhorepodcast. But now let's go ahead and wrap up with Tracey Carnazzo.
Understood. Now, here's the other thing. A friend said to me that her boyfriend, she found that he was looking at porn on his phone. Oh, my God.
Oh, she needs to grow the fuck up.
And she was like, he's cheating on me.
And
I'm like, with who?
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute. And he's cheating on you?
Yeah. He doesn't have Jenna Jameson's number.
Right.
It's like.
So I tried to explain to her that if that's cheating, then every man is cheating on his wife.
Yeah.
Including her father is cheating on her mother, and she gasped. And I was like, wait, is this a real this is real? Oh,
she doesn't know.
She's like, I took my engagement ring off.
She deserves to be alone.
I kicked him out.
Yeah. She kicked him out?
Yeah. I mean, they're back together now.
Good. But also,
and
no,
I said,
escape that.
my answer was, you should apologize to him because that's his private business. And why don't you ask to watch a porn with him? Yeah. And she was like, no. That's disgusting.
Where'd she grow up?
In Queens.
In Queens?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And I was like, I think you need to talk to more people about this.
Yeah.
Don't just take my word on this. Like, I think that the decision would be,
I'll talk to her. Jesus.
But now I know that people have different views on it. I mean, most people should be cool. I mean, I've never really met someone that wasn't cool with that. If I found porn on my boyfriend's computer on his phone, I'd be like, oh, he was jerking off to this porn.
Yeah, that's usually what is being done to it.
Right. I mean, that's that's not my business.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, if he's jerking off to a crazy porn, I might confront him about it and be like, since when are you into feet that much? I don't know.
Well, I mean, and we don't,
but not angry.
Yeah, we don't have to confront. We can just be like, hey, I noticed this. What's that about? Do you want?
Right, but not I'm mad.
I'll get a pedicure. What?
Right. Is that what you're into? Because you never talked to me about that.
And if you find child porn, then you're calling cops.
Right. Then I just call 911.
But otherwise, there's no, that woman is a little unhinged and has very unrealistic expectations of relationships and life. To the point that they've tried to do studies on dudes who don't watch porn.
Yeah.
And or the effects of porn on a guy, but they can't do it because they can't find a control group of dudes who have never watched porn.
Right.
It doesn't exist. They can't find it.
I'm sure they can find it somewhere.
No, but you can't find one guy for a control group. Sure. You need a few.
Yeah, it would have to be a religious cult.
Yeah, but even then, look at those
just people that don't have access to computers. Maybe some cavemen.
Yeah, maybe there.
Yeah.
But even then, there's these big circles that are
right because they draw.
They've had pornography for thousands of years.
I know this.
Yeah. And so they've never been able to study that because all dudes watch porn.
Wait,
and
so you watch porn, Billy?
Oh God, this
you
is
invited
really
me to. No, hold on. Just can we just? I'm sorry. I don't mean to tell you what to do with your life, but you invite me to your house, right? I'm a female, and just into this house with a man that would just be so impure as to watch pornography.
With tits hanging on his door.
I hang my bag up. I'm like, I'm just gonna hang these by your tits.
I've got photo booth of boobs in my mouth.
Oh my God, this is terrible. I didn't notice that. I thought that was art. Oh.
Yeah, you thought this was a religious show.
Yeah, I thought that this was actually. I was joining the cult.
Yeah. I know there are still people out there who view porn as cheating, and I just don't understand how.
I mean, I guess if it's in the rules.
But it's just.
But who would agree to that? If I met you and I was like, "Hey, listen, if you watch porn, you're cheating on me."
If he agrees to it, he's breaking it, and he will break that rule. I'm not even going to dignify that rule with calling it cheating.
Sure.
Because it's fucking retarded.
He's going to break the rule, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what? A lot of women watch porn too.
I got to tell you, it's not
nearly as much as men.
Sure.
But yeah.
I would watch porn. I would watch any porn. I'll look at anything. I don't think it's the same effect as it has on a man. I'm kind of more oh, wow, look at this scene. Look at what's going on. Oh my God, they have a very big pool. pool? Who has money for this pool? And they're just fucking right there. Go in the pool.
Don't jizz in the pool. Do you know how much it costs to clean that out?
These are the things that I look at. Or I'm like, Jesus Christ, look at her butt. Oh my God, why is her butt like that? Do you think that's a real butt? Can my butt be like that? Like, those are the things that women, other than like, and I'm not saying all women do that. I do that personally instead of like, masturbating to it.
Sure. Well, Tracey, where can people go to yell at you about being whatever?
Racist? No. If you want to yell at me about being racist, you can DM me and tell me that you want to suck my ass.
Well, you do a popular podcast about Teen Mom.
If you're into it, listen, don't listen to it if you don't watch Teen Mom.
Right. That's what I've heard. I've also heard you can't have on guests who are into Teen Mom.
You will get chewed up. Yeah. You won't even know what's going on. It's like a secret code language.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I host Teen Mom Trash Talk.
Isn't that such a delight? Because like when people are like, "Oh, I should do your podcast," and you go like, "Do you watch Teen Mom?" Be like, "No, I can improvise though," and you get to be like, "No."
I like that comics just ask to do your podcast,
and they don't know what
don't know what your podcast is at all. They just heard you have a podcast, and they're like, "I'd love to do your podcast," and I'm like, you're a 70-year-old man. You would like to do my podcast about Teen Mom? Specifically about Teen Mom and only about Teen Mom? And it's like, well, what's your podcast called? Yeah, maybe you should have read the name of it. Like, I'm not saying listen to the whole fucking series.
I'm just saying have an idea of what you're asking
maybe
to be
just
on.
Read the title. It's called Teen Mom Trash Talk.
Yeah.
Is that something that you'd like to do? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, when I have like some, I don't know, regular, ordinary, everyday dude who's like, I should do your podcast.
Why?
Like, should you?
Why?
Yeah, what's your spin?
What would you like to talk about?
Yeah, because like, I don't know. Yeah, it's like, look at who I've had on. There's always been a reason.
Yeah. No, absolutely. So you can find me there if you want to yell at me about being racist or send me inappropriate messages.
And what's the name of the show? You didn't say.
Teen Mom Trash Talk.
Yeah.
You could message me on Instagram or Twitter at Trixie Tuzini, TrixieTuzini.
Everyone go back and listen to that in 0.5x speed.
Trixie, Trixie. Tuzini, Tuzzini.
I'm just saying, you looked at me
I know.
like I was dumb. I didn't know what Tuzzini was.
It's my fake porn last name. Let's get real.
Tuzzini. We all know about Tuzzini, right?
Hello. Does it make you feel hungry? It makes me feel hungry. You could do that. You could go to TraceyCarnazzo.com, TraceyCarnazzo.com for my upcoming show dates. I run a show every fourth Saturday of the month in Astoria, Queens, New York. It is called #comedy at QED.
Great venue.
Yeah. So come out anytime, and I'd love to have you back on it. You were on my show, right?
Yeah. I think it was on like last year. Yeah.
All right. Well, in a few more years, I'll get you back on.
Thanks. Appreciate it. Well, Tracey, thanks so much for talking to me.
Thank you for having me.
Why don't you say goodbye to everybody?
Bye.
That was a fun one. I had a good time. I always have a good time talking to Tracey. Again, if you enjoyed her, go check out her podcast, Teen Mom Trash Talk. But like mostly if you're also into Teen Mom. If you're into more Tracey, though, talking to me, she has got a bonus episode coming out tomorrow on Patreon for all of my $5 and up members. Again, you can go to patreon.com/manwhorepodcast. Come out, people, if you are in Connecticut, New Jersey, Long Island, upstate New York, kind of. Philadelphia, you're not that far. Come on out next weekend to ManWhoreCon, presented by Motor Bunny. Even if it's not the whole weekend, come out to one of the shows. We've got a great comedy show, August 3rd at Lucky Jack's at 8 p.m. And then we have, love it, I'm so excited, a live Man Whore podcast recording at the Actors Theater Workshop, 8 p.m. If you want to get your tickets in advance, and I recommend you do, go to manwhorepod.com or click the links here in the show notes. I've alluded to it here in the outro a few times. I'm going to say it again before I do my big push and my big announcement. But yes, we do have Man Whore Podcast merch. The Stay Slutty buttons, the I'm Saving Pegging for Marriage t-shirts, those are up on sale at gumroad.com/manwhorepodcast. There's a link in the show notes. And very, very soon, possibly by the time you hear this, we should have a cool sticker, I think a second button option, and very soon, very soon, and I haven't really said this a lot, but we got Stay Slutty panties. I know you want those. I know you want those. Go to gumroad.com/manwhorepodcast. I hope to see you next weekend. Stay slutty.